So I wanted to take a minute to share some personal reflections prior to the formal AGM, and a lot of questions that came in. There's a couple that I think are more appropriate to answer here as well. And maybe the starting point is just to give everyone the background to better understand the story, the origins of Mountain Valley and where we've come from. I originally got involved with Mountain Valley as a consultant with an agency that I work with. And through that, if you recall, Mountain Valley was founded as a cannabis company, and it was really interesting as I did that initial work, which most people don't even realize I did entirely for stock-based compensation and zero cash compensation. So my efforts and initiatives were genuinely looking at long-term shareholder value. And perhaps one of the most difficult things that I had to do early on is we had a fairly advanced plan to build out a 15 to $20 million indoor grow operation on the island in Vancouver. And fascinating if you think of my progress coming in, helping them organize the business value proposition, looking at the plan, go public strategy, and then sort of looking around saying, wow, like how will this business differentiate itself? How would we spend 15 to $20 million, and what would that operational cost do, particularly in a high labor market, most expensive hydro in Canada, a lot of variables. It's just a lot of common sense. And sitting down with the founders and saying, we're not doing that. That's an example of the tough decisions that we made, thinking about our shareholders first, ensuring that we could get ahead of the business. And at that point, identified we needed to differentiate ourselves. We had massive players in the marketplace. I knew that cannabis would ultimately be a commodity with minor brand differentiation. And so at that point, we started pursuing, very seriously some differentiated technologies, things that broadened our health and wellness marketplace. So we went through this amazing transition that I'm quite proud of. And at that time, we started generating a lot of excitement as we ultimately transform more into a biotech company. And I think of, a parallel example, of a company like Kodak. Kodak, a lot of people don't realize they originally invented the digital camera. And so imagine a film company with first mover advantage with digital camera, but yet failing to realize what they had because no one made the tough decisions. No one said, do you realize if we stay this course? So what turned out to be a 10-year potential advantage, we all unfortunately know the end of that story, and they went bankrupt. And I'm proud that we're not telling you the story of Kodak today. I'm proud that we did things that, although weren't popular and were uncomfortable, that we got the business on its own pathway. The other thing people don't realize, in the RTO phase, our reverse takeover, you start that process, it takes, 6 months or more, and then that process ends. There's basically an acquisition, of all the assets inside that company. We took over the public ticker at that time for Meadow Bay, and then came onto the marketplace as Mountain Valley MD. What was fascinating, literally the day, and I remember this because I picked up my son on the Friday, right when COVID launched from university, saying, hey, you may not be back here. At that point, we thought it was 2 weeks. He never ended up going back to that residence that he was staying in. Our RTO went public, literally back on the market, right on to the day. And we had several exchanges trying to plead to hold off, just knowing it was going to bring different pressures. But guess what? We prevailed. We worked through an extremely difficult time, different supplier implications, all sorts of implications across our business. But we're a talented group of people. We still were able to persevere. I would say we just started getting our wings through the fall into the Christmas season a couple of years ago. And at that point, coming into the new year, we had a lot of confidence about the benefit of our diversification strategies, the benefit of our technologies. And we were unfortunately attacked by an unscrupulous hedge fund in Toronto. And that particular hedge fund today is being investigated by the Department of Justice. And we're going to leave that to them, but have a lot of good authority, understand a lot that happened to us then. And even then, during that time, I made a lot of statements about the value of our share price, which I still believe is undervalued for what the technologies we're working on and the opportunities ahead of us. And so I wanted to address that question today. And then the second question about this 90 days to revenue. What people don't realize at that time, and I haven't shared publicly, we had a couple significant things in motion that were directly hampered by that, what I'd call the short and distort attack on Mountain Valley. And, you know, I don't want that to sound like spilt milk, because that's behind us and I think we're stronger. I never in a million years would have imagined someone being able to steal joy from a company, but we went through that phase. And even though all of that distraction, we did our best to set aside, I think we did an amazing job getting focused on what it is that Mountain Valley is, what are our technologies enable us, cut out all the distraction. And what I think you're going to hear today is exactly the benefit of that persistence and why we're stronger. The benefit of watching a football game on Monday after the Sunday game as the armchair quarterback, we all know in hindsight how easy that is. But Mountain Valley operates in the real world of business and the real world of decision making. And I'm hoping just to shed a little context so you understand that we're making the right decisions with the information we have, and that groundwork we've laid has set us up for a very fantastic year ahead and the future beyond. So I want to personally thank you for those that supported us and understood all that noise and all the distraction, that you've invested in an amazing team with a great group of advisors and a great group of partners. Good morning. Welcome to our annual general meeting. My name is Dennis Hancock, and I'm the President and CEO of Mountain Valley MD. And I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you and thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to join us. An annual general meeting is a great opportunity not just to reflect on where we've come from, but more importantly to show you where we're going. And if I were to sum it all up in one word, the word for me is harmony. We're going today to talk about the harmony between human health, plant health, and animal health. We have lots of exciting projects underway and look forward to diving in deeper to share exactly what we're working on. Let's get started.
All life on Earth is interconnected. Plants, animals, and humans must coexist in harmony, not just to survive, but to thrive. The truth we must all face is that our world has never stood on a precipice like the one before us today. New disease, sickness and ailments, hunger, soil degradation, diminishing access to clean drinking water, dramatic fertilizer shortage, and unprecedented environmental pressures. This is our reality. This is our now. At Mountain Valley MD, we recognize these truths and embrace them as our challenges to solve, to seek out new technologies, investments, and solutions that will lead to more life, free from the shackles of pain, suffering, hunger, disease, and even help us achieve more of our boundless potential. We are an incubator of new health and wellness technologies in the relentless pursuit of possibility. The Earth is a giving planet, and we are here to uncover all its gifts. By harnessing the power of nature's medicine cabinet and the human body, there is little we cannot achieve. These are the fundamental truths we hold dear. These are the dreams that we fight to make a reality. These are the things that make us jump out of bed and take the stairs two at a time, every morning. Join us in our fight for more life.
At Mountain Valley, our efforts are divided into 3 lanes of activity. In our pharmaceutical lane, our efforts are focused on providing solutions for the major health problems that are faced by both humans and animals in today's society. Our phytoceutical lane is focused on providing solutions to improve the global food supply chain, but also looking at plant and fungi-based medicines that can help us prevent as well as treat disease. And finally, in our nutraceutical lane, we're looking at providing differentiated solutions that can help solve some of the everyday health and wellness challenges that we all face. In the pharmaceutical space, our work covers a number of projects which require an extensive amount of time and resource to develop the data that's required for regulatory authorities around the world. Our first space that we're working on is in the oncology space. We've talked about our Soluvec molecule and the work that we're doing to optimize the formulation so that we make sure that we get the right dose and the right route of administration to treat some of the cancers that we are studying. In oncology, we're also keenly aware that the oncology space continues to evolve and adapt to some of the new innovations which are being brought to the market. So to keep pace with that, Mountain Valley is also exploring some new molecules within the oncology space, and we're trying to understand how they fit into our pipeline of activities going forwards in the future. We're really looking forward to finalizing our oncology pipeline plan towards the end of this year and communicating it to the market. Our work in the anti-infective space is really designed to overcome some of the challenges that we're facing in the world today. One of those challenges is the treatment of parasitic diseases. Now, we know that parasitic diseases are endemic in some parts of the world because of challenges with compliance, adverse events, and bioavailability of drugs. So the work that we're doing with our molecule of Soluvec is designed to provide an alternative route of administration that can overcome some of these challenges, both in humans and animals. Now, this relates directly to our work in Bangladesh, but it also relates directly to the 505(b)(2) pathway that we're undertaking with the FDA at this moment. One of the other areas that we're working on in the anti-infective space is looking for an option for the treatment of tuberculosis. Now, we know that tuberculosis is a very serious respiratory disease with over 10 million new infections every year. We know that tuberculosis management also struggles with the problem of resistance to the current treatments that are available. So we're currently working through a series of experiments to identify what's the right formulation, what's the right dose, and what's the right option for administration for our product Selectisol in the management of tuberculosis. So we're pulling those plans together, we're working with some keen experts around the world, and we look forward to updating the market on it. We are also continuing to progress with our work in the space of cold chain. Now, as our audience knows, the cold chain processes are required for the storage and distribution of vaccines around the world. We also know that because of issues with cold chain and the process required for cold chain, that there's over $35 billion of loss of vaccines every year. Now, this is obviously a financial challenge, but it also raises the issue and the problem of getting vaccines to the people who actually need them. So we are currently investigating the opportunity and the challenges for including various antigens and various molecules within our technology and finding a solution for bringing those vaccines out of the cold chain. And one of our final projects within our pharmaceutical space is the work we're doing in diabetes to try to find a needleless application for insulin. As we know, insulin is one of the most commonly used treatments for diabetes. But there are challenges with insulin therapy, such as the fear of injection for patients, cost, as well as the risk of hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar. So our work is progressing in this space, and we're looking forwards to providing a solution for needleless insulin delivery, which could solve many problems for many people around the world.
So I wanted to fill you in on the question of Bangladesh and our commercialization pathway with our solubilized ivermectin product in the husbandry animal path. And that has progressed very well. If you recall from our updates, we have the stability rework that's happening. We've already got 1 month of data that's quite positive on the updated formula. So very positive direction there. What that means from our end is we're in the final throes of the legal contract, working actually with a North American partner that's going to lead the Bangladesh commercialization inside that market with a local partner. And that's really the perfect business model for Mountain Valley, where we're take our science to a certain point and then make sure that we have partners that do that job in market, driving the commercialization side. The other big piece of that is answering the question of how are we going to produce this? So in the midst right now of looking at the GMP scaled production, and we have 2 separate strategies that are unfolding, but the one that I'm optimistically negotiating is we would have a North American licensee doing our global manufacturing and then also driving sub-licenses in other markets outside of Bangladesh. So to be very clear, the Bangladesh deal is exclusively inside Bangladesh, and then working on second opportunities to expand across broad husbandry animal lines globally.
Our work in the phytoceutical space has two very exciting opportunities that we're looking at currently. So first of all is looking for the discovery and formulation of various plant and fungi-based molecules to treat a variety of human diseases around the world. We know that plant and fungi-based molecules have been studied for many years and have shown great promise in the treatment of human diseases. So we're very excited to explore this space and find what those molecules are and how we can use those to differentiate Mountain Valley's opportunities and offerings within the space. Within the phytoceutical space, we're also very pleased to be a part of a new biostimulant project which is looking to increase crop yields around the world, independent of temperate climates and soil conditions.
This is our Earth. It is precious. There is no planet B that can sustain the human population when this one becomes spoiled. The food we eat is almost solely produced by the land, and yet over a third of our soil is irretrievably scorched. The Earth's drinkable water is diminishing. Food prices have never been higher, and there is a massive shortage of fertilizer. We're standing at an inflection point. If we don't act now, there will be no going back. The good news? Thanks to Agrarius, a sustainable agritech, we can increase crop yields organically in ways never seen before. Agrarius enables yield improvements from 10 to 50% across most major human food staples, all using the same amount of land and resources. Agrarius has been proven on hundreds of crop types and works by simply sending signals to plants, literally telling them how to grow, making plants more resistant to drought and climate change, all while enabling a 30% reduction in fertilizer usage. Just one small vial of Agrarius mixed into a standard irrigation system is enough for an entire acre of crops. Using the same land, safe and natural resources, we can transform the way food is produced, help farms all over the world, save lives, and give our planet the chance to heal. It's time to rethink everything you knew about farming.
So to provide a little more context on Agrarius, this was an investment we made in a company called Agri Results a few years back. And this is, to me, a perfect example of this incubator mindset where we invest in companies, we work with them. And, we've got to the point where, as you can see, we're really proud to have brought it to a commercialization value proposition. For those that don't know, Mountain Valley holds the global exclusivity for hemp and cannabis applications. So there's a unique formula that's applied, and we've seen from some of our previous work down in Colombia, we've seen some amazing results on hemp applications. So what I love about this story, not just from the investment coming to life, but the fact that this is a big thing where the timeliness of our business towards our commercialization in 2023. So we've got some really nice revenue forecast. A lot of the trials that are underway as we speak, we'll be working to monetize those into large purchase orders across big crop applications in 2023.
In the nutraceutical space, we have the opportunity to provide solutions for some of the everyday health and wellness challenges that people face. Now, we understand that this space is very complicated and very crowded, so differentiation is key. And with our proprietary formulation technology, as well as sourcing of world-class molecules, we feel that we can provide solutions that have a greater bioavailability, a rapid onset of action, and less dose required of the molecules included in this. Now, I think we all understand the importance of a good night's sleep, getting energy when we need it, and overcoming pain when we have pain. And we're really looking forward to bringing these solutions to the market.
So I'm really pleased with the progress we've been making on nutraceuticals and taking our proprietary formulation work now down to the street level where our value proposition comes to life with our partners' brands. And the first thing I want to talk about is This year we did take a little step back, and I think it was fortuitous to pause and say, hey, how are we going to scale up with our partners by teaching each of them our formulas, our IP, if you will. And we made a decision to look for a broader North American provider that I think is going to prove out to be a real home run strategy. So it delivers a bunch of things. First of all, by having one centralized producer, we have the leverage of product quality, top shelf ingredients, all of the manufacturing things, without teaching our partners all of our trade secrets. So there's a protectionism for the business, there's a quality, and there's a speed and scale now that we've done the heavy lifting with one partner, rather than teaching each licensee each time. So that strategy's come together. I've officially signed the master license agreements with this firm, and we have now gone through all of the dissolution and tableting testing for our sublingual product. And now we're at a point where our first licensee, Circadian Wellness, is bringing their Eons brand to the marketplace. So what does that mean for us? We've prioritized our sleep product, energy product, and pain relief product for an Eons mushroom-based application, which they've got the exclusivity globally. So they're going now into the final product testing and evaluation phase, and looking forward to bring products to the marketplace, which I suspect would be in early 2023, although that's of course their business plan and their business and news to share. But we've been really excited about our collaboration and seeing how their branding is coming to life and their value proposition. So on a separate note to that, Mountain Valley still has GMP production requirements for our Mountains of product line. And the Mountains of product line is sort of twofold. One, it's the GMP produced quality product that's used as a proxy for business development. So as we work on targeting the marketplace for resellers, we'll have this GMP product developed and created. And then we also have it as a white label proxy for anyone that wants to go out and resell that brand or create their own brand. So very excited about what that's coming. Our initial focus is the same categories, sleep, pain relief, and I want to add weight loss as well, and of course energy. So we have a couple of these, what I'd say the home run anchor categories in the nutraceutical space. And as Ezra alluded to, it's a crowded space, so we want to make sure our product has real big differentiation, a real strong efficacy and immediacy when things are taken sublingually, and then always have top drawer quality, no substituted ingredients, which is a big problem in the nutraceutical place. So with that said, lots of momentum coming there. Really pleased with our strategy. Felt a little bit like we took one step back, but I think the fruits of that will be enormous for us in 2023. As you can see, we've covered a lot of ground today, and I want to personally thank you for taking the time to join us. None of this is possible without the support of our investors, our extensive partner network, and of course our family here at Mountain Valley. I want to personally thank you for all you do, for believing in us and supporting us along the way. I am so excited about our vision of more life and look forward to sharing all of that in the coming year as we make great progress and continue the pursuit of more life together.